Hey Capricorn, Ali from Indigo Ascension. Welcome to your weekly quick read for the week beginning December the 7th through to the 13th. Now, December offers significant transits all month, yes. However, this week I wanted to focus on the crossroads and what I like to call the ecliptical crossroads. Now, next week we have a Sagittarian solar eclipse that falls in your 12th house, so expect some deep subconscious stuff, okay? Intuition heightens, deeper needs for healing and listening to the subconscious and really going deeper than just the surface, obviously, essentially in many ways. But I wanted to draw you back. Now, this is almost very, symbolic for you guys too. You've had a whole year of retrogrades, and certainly the 2 years prior to this year, you were on an ecliptical cycle yourself, leading the South Node, which was all about deeply integrating the wisdoms of the past, yeah? And what you have learned as far as where to from here. Now, I wanted to talk about the karmic crossroads because in many ways, there's no better than or worse than. There simply is an opportunity to deeply integrate wisdoms. And we can find ourselves attracting new circumstances, jobs, workplaces, friendships, relationships, and yet come up against the same blocks. Yeah, we notice these repeating themes. And maybe in our very human nature and the way in which we connect to self first by connecting to our environments, we need to see that outside of self in circumstances so that we can go, you know what, there's a bit of a theme here. Why do I keep coming up against the same blocks? Why do I keep noticing the same patterns in my dynamics? The same issues I might have with holding space for my emotions and my ability to authentically communicate my truth, the relationship I have with vulnerability, whatever the case may be. Now, I am not discounting the fact that you guys have had a massive year in holding space for conjunctions and retrogrades, and really, like, if anyone, above everyone, Cap, you guys were transmuting the past collectively for us all and also for yourself. There is a whole new way to build. Capricorn essentially is the CEO. It is the, the mountain goat, the one that will keep toiling until we get to the top of the mountain. However, those old systems are crumbling. Those old ways of functioning really are asking us to start all over again. And there's something intrinsic you've learned, not just this year, but in the last 2 years too, in many ways, okay? Watch what fortune, and the word fortune, the word abundance, achievement, success is unique to us all. It's not just material. Watch what you can achieve this moment forward, especially while you do your final 12th house transits after this Sagittarian solar eclipse activates. It is a wrap up in many ways, guys, of not just this year, but for you, particularly the last 2 years prior. So many in the collective are finding themselves at this crossroads. Do I recreate karmic patterning, or am I willing to bravely look at the deeper truths of myself and decide that I'm going to manifest and create in a whole new way across any area of life? Okay, so have a read up of the weekly quick reads that I did already put up on Instagram and Facebook for some bigger insight on what I was referring to when it comes to karmic crossroads in between ecliptical cycles, because 2018 to 2020 was Cancer and you. And then now we have kicked off with Gemini and Sagittarius. Okie dokie. So underneath the deck, my friend, you've got the envy card, the way in which you hold space for envy, how that ultimately pollutes your solar plexus and divine willpower, self-esteem, how that creates foundations. And foundations are created in all moments, every time we're making a choice, yeah? Because we all have free will to choose. Maybe there has been something about this year that has taught you this valuable lesson about envy, and it's not just the way in which we process it and hold space for it, how we experience it internally when we're looking outside of self, but it certainly is the way in which it is directed at us and how we hold space for that too. Do we carry guilt when others are envious of our successes? Do we carry resentment towards other people because we're envious that they have something we don't? Perhaps it's not all about wishing someone had something that someone else had. Perhaps it simply is about, well, I wish I had the energy and drive that they do that will get me to my own unique experience of whatever it is that I'm envious of, and vice versa. That's perhaps how we can release guilt too when envy is directed at us. Certainly envy in its very wholesome form can teach us some massive and valuable tools around whether I authentically feel confident in myself, who I am, what I have to offer, and my place in the world, okay? The envy card talks about I am the same as everybody else, but with different challenges. You have the imagination card that has shown up, my friend, and the service card. How has your imagination served served you this year? More importantly, you're at a crossroads, okay? Maybe this envy card ties into those energies of guilt. Like I said, how has it served you holding yourself back when you are too busy focused on what everyone else needs, what they may be, you know, and in very many ways, Capricorns are a service role to their immediate family members, friendship groups. What is holding you back from truly connecting into this higher realm that's been calling you? This new way of doing things, this new thought, this new vision, this new pathway you know is inherently right for you. Okay, there's a new way in which to work with your intuition perhaps, and it's been giving you some visual hints and cues about what needs to go. There's something here that's not serving you anymore. I don't know if it's a belief, an old way of seeing self, old way in which you hold space for envy, or the way in which you hold guilt because others hold envy towards you. Whatever the case may be, Cap, there's a different way in which we can look at the role of service we play. It's great to be there and be the one empowering everyone else. It comes from a beautiful open heart chakra. But there's something here about choosing to be in service for self first and not worrying about what's going on for other people, I feel. Because like with the crown chakra activated like this, there's a whole new relationship with that. Because I've also got the moon card underneath the deck as well. There's something here that you've perhaps been avoiding. The way in which you connect to your emotions, the way in which you haven't connected, the way, did I say emotions? Maybe it is, because I was going to say intuitions, which could be linked to emotions, emotional loss here, okay? Perhaps this ties into something from the past. Maybe there was an option, okay, in the recent past. Maybe there's something here about the last 5 years, the last 4 weeks, the last 4 months that are significant time frames. Cappy, you have so much, you have heavy intuition cards. The High Priestess has shown up in the past for you. This, as a person, as an individual representing a characteristic, is someone that knows a lot but chooses very, very wisely when to speak. Okay? There's a way in which, like, this is even stuff that might be going and bubbling under the surface for you guys as far as a new way to do things. The things you have picked up on and just inherently know intuitively on deeper soul levels but haven't been communicating. I feel in many ways I'm connecting to Capricorns that, like the Five of Swords sits at the center. There was an easier way to deal with misunderstandings. And maybe that looked like conflict, being in conflict with others, having to defend self, having to go into battle at some point to get to the heart of what I was intuitively picking up on. Yeah, wow. This may be in the realms of home. This may be in the realms of family, marriage, like family commitments, okay? I feel I'm connecting into many Capricorns that haven't fully embraced this newfound sense of intuition that has been built. Like there is a new way that you can access your intuition to be of service to you. Like whether you choose, you want to use that within the realms of family, home, relationships, whether you want to use that in the way in which you're communicating and asking the right questions because you intuitively know something already. It doesn't even have to be asked and queried and thought over and wondered about to the point that I'm overthinking and feeling confused because I'm suddenly in conflict with another, because I intuitively know that. And like whether that's all about gaslighting and people lying and feeling like you have to navigate that sort of, like it's this strong sense of a connection to the untalked about that you have that can actually take you to this whole other level of self. So interesting. Maybe it's connected to the way in which emotions have or haven't served you in the past. Like look at the 5 and 6. When I add those together, that's an 11. There's a whole new way in which to master intuition. Look at the 11 here too. Look at that. Sorry, I'm just looking at symbolism. You're closing off a massive cycle. 5 and 4 is 9. You're closing off a cycle. The way in which you have ignored your intuitive soul wisdom, soul knowing, deeper understanding of self and circumstances, when it is right to go into battle, when it is right to hold back, when it is right to create endings. Look, and it's just odd because you've got this envy card, and I wonder if you experience this elevated form of disassociation from conflict and envious energy that is around you. And that's perhaps why it's being directed at you. It's actually really interesting. Let's pull a crystal card. Very cryptic, Capricorn. There's something here about February, okay? There's something here, like I said already, the last 5 years has paved a way for you. The next 4 weeks is key for you to decide. Like, is there a conversation that you need to have that you've been holding back from having? Because you intuitively know this, sense this on deeper levels, okay? It could be connected to family, it could be connected to the past, it could be losses from the past. And how you've ultimately needed to recognize how you do or do not hold space for emotional loss is what I do want to say. All right. There's something here like your imagination, your intuition, your higher self, this newfound relationship with your higher self and how it can be of service to you in a whole new way is the crossroads that you're at. Maybe it's something you've sort of put to the side on some level, or you've experienced it only on one level, Cappy, and now here we are on the launch of a brand new ecliptical cycle to take it like into whole new, there's like, I'm going to say for you particularly, there is a whole new way to communicate and to not feel conflicted about your communication. So whatever your unique experiences are, there's something here that you intuitively know on deep, strong levels, but are not communicating. And perhaps the karmic lesson there then is the repeat of patterning where you have ignored intuition, not actioned it, not asked the question, and have allowed it to lead to time passing so that there's emotional loss, is what I do want to say. All right, Unakite, my dear friend, is about decisions, expression, and releasing. The Unakite card indicates that what is underlying a situation will soon be revealed. Once the cause is recognized, release and healing will begin. That's very much what I was feeling here, Cappy, with the High Priestess and the Moon, and this conflict card in the middle. Like, there's a whole way that you've always dealt with communication and confronted things perhaps, but there's this new way. There's a well of wisdom and knowing. It could even be just around a specific person, situation, connection, whatever the case may be. But the communication hasn't happened, and this crossroads is about how you connect to your intuition in a whole new way to communicate. Okay? Like I said, maybe there's themes of service, imagination, envy, this idea of failure, and what the difference between success and failure means to you at this point. Okay? Alrighty, hope you got something out. It's very complex, Cappy, but these readings they go a little bit soul deep. If you're looking to book a personal reading, you can do so at the link above if you're watching on Instagram, and if you're watching on YouTube, you can find that same link in the description box below. Until next time, take care, friend.